here are the other individuals in this particular series.
Yes, whatever the heck.
Work our way down to another edition.
AJ Styles, which I really enjoy.
The Young Bucks. And you have the Bomb Squad 4 live.
Right, we're in the top row of the second colorful case.
What is up, the Bomb Squad? This is Don the Bomb, and I am back for a totally radical, tubular, life-changing wrestling figure unboxing and review. So Jazwares Vault is running hot. Running hot, I tell you, and that is flaming hot, because they just dropped the AEW Outrunners 2-pack and Dalton Castle. Now, these figures were originally announced last year at the San Diego Comic-Con back in June of 2025. And as we know, for basically the remainder of 2025 after that, and throughout the course of 2026, it seems like the Jazwares AEW line is on life support, but it is still breathing. It's not over until it's over. So, we have some reveals here and there. There was a surprise drop of Christopher Daniels that I received last week. Or was it about 2 weeks ago? No, it was last week. That came out of nowhere. Even though that was announced at San Diego Comic-Con, that was just dropped for an in-stock purchase. These two, the pre-order's been going on for a while. I could not hesitate. I pushed that buy button over at Jazwares Vault. And here I have it, the Outrunners and Dalton Castle. Now, like I said, some of these San Diego Comic-Con reveals have been trickling out. We had like I said, the Christopher Daniels, the Outrunners, and Dalton Castle today. There's a Darby Allin flamethrower. Hopefully we get a lot more of those before the end of the year. And hopefully, just hopefully, AEW and Jazwares continues their partnership, because I just don't see another brand being able to, another company being able to put out the AEW figures as quickly and more accessible than Jazwares. That's actually realistic. So anyway, without any further ado, let's get into this. Running hot with Dalton Castle and the Outrunners. We'll start off with Dalton Castle. Here is the cardboard slipcover, and there he is in all of his splendor. Too bad there wasn't a 3-pack with the boys, which, I don't think they are no longer a part of AEW. Anyway, let's get right into this. Yeah, hopefully Jazwares and AEW, come to some sort of a financial agreement to continue to produce action figures in the foreseeable future, especially with Jeremy Padawer now as the president of Jazwares. There is Dalton Castle right there. Let's get him out of here. Is there, let's see. All right, there we go. Off over there. Another box. There he is in his, sorry about the glare. There he is in his plastic prison, as my fellow YouTube action figure reviewer friend Kyle Peterson does say. It's time to release him from his plastic prison. There's the barcode and other jibber jabber. The Ring of Honor versions of these guys. And as we know, Ring of Honor, it's not the same as the old Ring of Honor, but at least it's Ring of Honor. It's better than not having it at all. And it gives a lot of this AEW talent that doesn't have anything else going on the main roster something to do. Just like Dalton Castle and the Outrunners. All right, what's going on here? Release from the plastic prison. Release. Come on, let's go. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. All right, let's get the... Oh, my goodness. I just shot out a fist somewhere, or a hand of some sort. All right. All right, out of the packaging, we have two fists. Or no, we have two fists here. Yes, two fists. Yes. And two gripping hands. There we are right there. We have an extra head sculpt. These are deep in the plastic prison. I guess if they were easy to come out, it would not be a prison, now would it? No, it wouldn't. Here's the screaming head sculpt of Dalton Castle. Not sure if that's exactly the best representation of him, but at least it's always good to have another option of heads. And who doesn't like a little head? Never hurt anybody. All right. He is tied in there. And there he goes. Oh, this is awesome. And I'm pretty sure that Dalton Castle and the Outrunners are still available on the AEW Vault. I was fearful that they would sell out real quick. That's why I jumped on the very first day they were available. But look at this with a nice chain to go around his neck. Soft goods. You have this kind of like plaid, diamond, shimmery type material underneath or over top this kind of magenta colored cape. Peacock cape, if you will. And here is Dalton Castle in all of his splendor. I love the raised eyebrow like The Rock. Has a cool silver shimmery jumpsuit. Has the kind of like the hot pink and the light blue trim. Very similar to the Outrunners colors and the Miami Heat, which I wore for the occasion. Even though I'm a Cleveland Cavaliers fan. I am not going to take this suit off because it may have a problem going back on, but yeah, there you go. It's going to be the standard Jazwares body types, I'm sure. So let's go over the articulation. We have the head go all the way around. We have the double jointed pinned elbows, ab crunch. There's the splits, which is hindered a little bit by the outfit. I'm sure we have the double jointed pinned knees. We have thigh cut, boot cut, bicep cut. I should really take that off, but I really don't want to. I really don't want to. And there's an awesome fringe right here. I just don't want to be in a position where I take it off and then it just either rips going back on or whatever, and I'm in no mood for that. I've had too many breakages of figures during these unboxings the last year. There he is with the peacock cape. Dalton Castle. If I was to rate this action figure, I probably would give it a solid 9 out of 10. 9.5 out of 10. You know, the only thing, the head sculpt isn't completely the best, but it is good enough to know it's Dalton Castle, in my opinion. All right, going back to the throwback from the 80s, that is the Outrunners. You know, when they first showed up a few years ago, they were pretty much enhancement talent. But they got over with the fans, and eventually they were signed to contracts. The rest is history. We have Truth Magnum, Turbo Floyd, running hot. And the one thing I will say about the Jazwares Vault exclusives, they really do a good job with the packaging. It's always hard to throw the packaging away because it's always looks so good. So I guess this technically wouldn't be a Ring of Honor version of them, just an AEW where Dalton Castle has the Ring of Honor. Did I show you the back? Yeah, there's the back. Has the nice 80s colors, the Miami Vice colors, barcode other jibber jabber, the Outrunners. Getting ahead of myself here. Plastic prison, reflection. Look at that. That's disappointing. The stupid reflection. Anyway, blank there. Outrunners AEW. Another picture of Turbo and Truth right there. There they are in all of their splendor, the Outrunners. Oh, I'm almost already 9 minutes into this review. What the hell am I doing here? Ugh. I'll try to make this go fast. I know people complain about my long reviews and me always talking. Why doesn't this guy just get to the point? Sorry about that. I just enjoy these figures an awful lot. And in my food reviews, I enjoy the food I eat. And I want to talk about it. So there. There always has to be haters. People always hating. This is the world we live in, the country we live in. There's unfortunately more hate than there is love. Unless you're, of course, our boy Dalton Castle. All right, there's definitely a lot of hands here. And, of course, the well-appreciated extra head sculpts. Because with the extra head sculpts, I can make totally different characters. All right, we'll get into the hands. All right, a couple of pointer fingers there. Whoops, they have fallen. All right, looks like one of them has a tattoo because you can see it on this mic gripping hand. All right, a couple more gripping hands. You know, each one has to have gripping hands, at least one set of each. And then a couple of pointer fingers. Number 1. All right, and here are the 2 head sculpts. These guys with their tongues sticking out. Look at that. Look at that. Not a bad job. Looks like Turbo Magnum, or Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd. And then out of the package. Oh, they came right out of the package. You have those Miami Vice colors kind of matching Dalton Castle here, which is always cool. I can display them together. Ooh. And, you know, I don't want to be taking off all the accessories because, you know, time purposes, we're already 11 minutes into this, so goodness gracious me. We don't need to go over our articulation because we already covered Dalton Castle. But there we are, you know, the double jointed pinned elbows, bicep cut. You have their, you know, it looks like he has the bandana on. You see the back of their hair. Both have the cool sunglasses. He has the chain, the Outrunners t-shirts, the sleeveless muscle shirts, and then the awesome attire with the hot pink, the baby blue. Very nice attires there. I am very, very pleased to say the least because these are 3 of my most wanted figures from the San Diego Comic-Con. So the other 2 that I want the most, one of them is the Smart Mark Sterling. That's going to be I believe, a Collect Major exclusive Jazwares release. Hopefully that's still coming out. They said it was. Someone said it was. I think Mark Sterling himself. And I also want to get that Prince Nana and Swerve 2-pack. You know, for Prince Nana, whatever that dance he does or whatever. You know what I mean. So for some figure comparisons, we'll bring out the last AEW Jazwares figure that I have received, and that was about a week ago. There's the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels. There you go. Same height of all these other guys. Scale really well. Was very happy to get him. And WWE Mattel, we have Ricochet, who is now in AEW. He is going to be a little taller just because of the scale with Mattel and Jazwares. Usually, the Jazwares the guys will be taller, kind of like how Moxley and Cesaro are. Whatever. You see what I'm saying. I'm just so happy to get these guys in my collection. So we also have Super 7 Tomohiro Ishii. I wish that New Japan line was still going on, but that hasn't had a new series in about 5 years, so I'm expecting that to kind of be done, which is a shame. He's also an AEW. Another guy in AEW is the Black Taurus, or the, what is that, Beast Myrtos? You know, Boss Fight, Legends of Lucha Libre figures are a little bit shorter, but they have gone up in scale over the last few series. So there you are right there. He's another guy in AEW. Sorry if I'm tripping over my words today. And then last but not least, we have a Minoru Suzuki Storm Collectibles figure. And they're all basically in the same scale. Now, the Storm Collectibles figures are a little more buff. But they have awesome wrestling figures, but they only come out with like one release every 4 years or 3 years. They'll come out with a wrestler, and then they'll make like maybe 6, 7 different versions of that wrestler with repaints, and then they'll bring out another wrestler like in, 3 years later. So whatever. Hopefully they'll amp up the production line, just like Boss Fight and all those other ones need to do as well. Anyway, we're about 15 minutes into this. I'm going to get to the point, and the point is, these are awesome figures. I give this a 9 out of 10. I give these 2 guys probably an 8. No, I'll give them a 9 out of 10 too. So those are pretty good in my book. AEW, Jazwares Vault exclusives, Dalton Castle, the Outrunners, they should still be online. And once they're gone, they could be gone forever, just like AEW, Jazwares relationship. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully there'll be some more releases coming out this year, surprises, and hopefully they can renew their unionship right here. So I'm hoping so. And if they don't, well, just follow these words from your boy Don the Bomb, and that is, all that glitter isn't gold. For Dalton Castle, the Outrunners, and all these guys, I'm out of here.